Hello everyone, I am Alyan Fiverrwala and it's pleasure to introduce Mr. Kaj, a visionary sustainability expert with a passion for transforming business organization with an impressive track record of weaving eco-conscious strategy into fabric of corporate operation. So welcome sir, and how are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. I'm a Swede living in London since 12 years, and it would be nice to talk to you, Alyan, and a little bit of based on my experience from the 30 latest years of my life, and once uh, in a time I was also young as you and started my work in the line of sustainability. That I think that will be one of the main questions that we're going to talk about today.
Okay, that's great. Thanks so much for your introduction, first of all. And first of all, I'm very thankful to you to coming in my show and giving me your precious or valuable time for the interview. Thanks so much for coming.
Oh, so I'm very pleased to be here.
Thank you. Okay, sir. So my first question is, what are the biggest challenges business face when integrating sustainability into their operation?
Well, if you mean my journey um, in the field of sustainability, it started many years ago, and it's a question of balancing different types of topics when you are driving businesses, but also when you are policymakers, legislators, you have balancing different types of topics, from economical issues to value-based issues related to environment, social justice, human rights, and so that you know all of these questions, and then you have to balance and get it into a system that works well and can meet the targets that you have for example, on sustainability. Everyone would like to build a sustainable society. Uh, so I think that's a common ground for many, whatever you are, a business or you're a politicians. You always would like to build a sustainable solution for long term. But it's challenges also when you talk about short term and long term and the steps forward. Some people are in the forefront of development, and others are coming lately after. But I think we have reached the tipping point for in many areas now when we talk about sustainability. And of course, crisis in society help us to understand the difficulties at the climate crisis, or if it's a social issue on injustice and other type of balancing issues, which is challenging, whatever position you have. And I have been working in the fields of sustainability in all levels, everything from the local neighborhoods to the level of government and executive level in business.
All right, sir. Okay, so how does sustainability communication differ from other form of business communication?
Well, when you talk about communication, you need to know what is the outcome that you would like to see. And as I said before, this is a question of balancing different type of issues, everything from finance to environment to social justice. And I think when you say other forms of business communication. I think we should look at how it was before the issue of sustainability come. Sometimes you say business as usual, and the exclude when you exclude value-based social and environmental issue from the business communication, then I think it's a question of, is that sustainable in the long term? Which I don't think. And I think it's this balance between different types of values make it different from the traditional view of only thinking on financing issues for the company. Of course, finance is also very important for sustainability. If you don't have a sound or a good finance in the company, you can't be sustainable. But it's a balance with these three topics, or if we say environment, finance, social issues. That the basic thing that you, when you maybe have targets in the society or as a business that you would like to reach, target as in the field of climate change or other part of waste, for example, or garbage and landfills and renewable energy, all involving a lot of values for the society.
All right. Okay. So, what role do you believe social media plays in promoting sustainability within business?
Well, I think social media play a crucial role for communication and engage and mobilizing people in different levels. And it's also a question of how to build competence in maybe sometimes a complex area of questions. And social media help you to understand and build your competence in the field. And so it's a very important part. And of course, when before social media exist, we had other way of to communicate, but it's only a new tool for us to communicate and mobilize people for a different purpose.
All right. Okay. So, how can small business, medium-sized enterprise (SMEs) be encouraged to adopt sustainable practice?
Well, I think it's important to have the right network, and it's always a question of sourcing your knowledge from different sources in as a business, and particularly now for a small business who are delivering to other businesses in the supply chain. They have to meet the demands. The company are maybe following a procurement policy, what sort of things that you need to buy. The bigger company who in its supply chain has a lot of small businesses, and the big company demanding that the product or the material that the small business use are meeting the demands in the big companies. So it's if you are a small business startup or in existing small business, you have to prepare where your customers are and the demands they have to buy your product or buy your services. And most the big the I think for a small business is very important to have the knowledge, and I think social media help you to build your competence in this field, and also to understand the big business, or the bigger companies, how they drive their own change, and how they demands that the small business should behave in their supply chain. So it's important for small businesses to adopt sustainable practices, and encourage others in their company to use and to look at the bigger companies' demands of other type of products that they maybe not have demand before. So and I think a lot of companies today, they following guidelines in based on what you can call sustainable development goals, the SDGs, or if it's a ESG, the environment, social, and governance profiles. And you have the Paris Agreement also, which is giving guidelines for big companies and also small and medium-sized companies. But if you have these three areas and of SDG, ESG, and Paris Agreement, then you can build your platform based on these principles. And you can't do everything at the same time, but you have to see how your company will learn the lesson in this field.
All right. So, can you please explain the concept of triple bottom line and its importance?
Well, it's going back to what we said in the beginning about the balancing of um, different types of topics when you are running a business, with the financing issue, the environmental issue, and the social issue, that they all are together when you drive a sustainable strategy for the company. And it's crucial. And we haven't mentioned before, but for many more business today, it is important to look at the circular economy, which involve both your products and your material, your services, that when it comes out in the end, will not drive new problems to the society. So you're trying to recycle your product, or you have a life cycle of the product, or whatever it could be. But to understand the three values of finance, environmental, and social issue, that they're integrated in the business strategy.
Okay. So, how do you stay updated with the latest trend and regulation in sustainability?
Well, I think what I mentioned before, the latest trends, you find them when you look at the overall society targets around the Paris Agreement, or the SDGs, or the ESG, and you follow the greenhouse gas protocol, which is more related to the climate issue. And the climate issue is number one in many mindset all around, whatever you are in business, or whatever you are in the society, or you are a legislator. But the climate issue has many perspectives, and it's also maybe the tools you're going to use for to be a change maker. They different. They can be different depending on what type of company, or uh, what type of organization you are. And I think it's important to, when you see the trends, it's with social media, you can always uh, build your competence, and you can follow this let's say the SDGs and the ESG, or the Paris Agreement, what's happening in these fields. And but nowadays you can also see and learn from um, more of a local actors in your neighborhoods, and then how could you work together with other who think in the same direction. How can you build network with others that also create the good thing for your business if you have the same values in your network. And I think it's to be aware. You build your awareness through social media, and you build also your network in your social network, and to follow what others do, and the experience others have when they trying to implement this type of topics in their company or in their organizations.
Okay. So, what strategies do you use engage stakeholders in sustainability decision?
Well, for me, myself, I started in 2021 a podcast program called Transformers, where I do video interviews, and I do podcast radio interviews and video interviews to support the relationship to different types of stakeholders. And podcast for me has been very important to engage stakeholders in different type of topics of sustainability. It could be everything from local neighborhoods to top EU agenda on chemicals. And if you go to Transformers on kajembren.org, and then you can see the different type of topics that I have engaged different type of stakeholders to drive change, and also to promote sustainable thinking and thoughtful leadership.
All right. So, how do you approach science with an organization regarding sustainability initiatives?
Well, um, my lesson learned from my experience years in business and also in society organization is learning by doing, and you learn from experience, and to tell stories that you can do things better. And that's the most successful way of to build understanding with other people. So I think storytelling is one of the key points for reach out to people who maybe not are aware about the issue, or if they see a story that they understand that it could make something important for also for their role. And I think it's even if I know that in the news and other places in media that you see the crisis, and um, news create understanding, of course, but it also could scare people to change. But you have to understand that you build competence for something good in society or in your company. And but I think the main issue for me has been that storytelling methodology to reach out.
All right, great. So, can you discuss the intersection of sustainability and technology in modern business?
Well, it's a big issue to raise that, and We can take examples of biodiversity, which is an important question for nature and for our society to have a nature in the future. And if you have look into the carbon market, it has been a lot of scandals in the carbon offset when you can buy your offsetting in a project somewhere in the world. And then they found out that there's a lot of middlemans and other people who maybe doesn't they haven't used um, the sources in a good way. They had been a lot of articles that they have been unethical in their behavior in the carbon market. And if you think through this, because it's a lot of levels when you talk about the carbon market, everything from the local ground in the maybe it could be in the in the forest in Africa, and to the top executive level in Europe. It's a long distance between the local and the top level. But if you use blockchain, then you see you can decrease the numbers of people that can take away money from the system, and you get less levels, and you have a control over the whole flow of money between the local and the top level. So blockchain is an important tool to build understanding and ethical behavior in this type of carbon market. I think blockchain has many advantage, in particularly in this field. I would say an example of technology, how technology can be used, but it's so of course you have many other areas also that technology playing an important role in the carbon market.
All right, all right. Okay, sir. So my last question is, what advice would you give to new business starting their sustainability journey?
Well, I think that's an important part is to learn from others and try to do research when you start your before you start your journey, and see how others have done, and also to try to go out from your box and what you traditional maybe do in your business, or in when you have a startup, and try to see what sort of competence do we need if we will raise this type of issues, and then try and use social media to do good research, and also build your network with people that can bring competence into your business, and try to go out of your traditional role, and think also to be innovative in your thoughtful leadership. Innovation is always good as a mindset when you start your business.
That's great, wonderful. Okay, sir. So thank you so much for giving me your precious and valuable time for the interview. I hope everybody also learned something new with your talk. Thank you so much, sir, for coming and giving your knowledge to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Alyan. And it was nice to be in your program, and I hope you have a successful work in from school into your working life. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful wishes. Thank you so much.